Hello everybody, week 4 of the SPL is now over, and we have some information on some of the more interesting matches throughout that week of competition. First up, we have TriG vs Tighten. This was pretty widely considered by most analysts, most players. It was going to be going to Tighten, but it in fact went 2-0, the opposite direction, going to TriG. TriG playing their game. Really, they're playing their game they hadn't played since the LAN, right? They had been off point a little bit. They finally got it back together. They got their picks together. They got their gameplay together. And they showed up against the strongest team right now. One of the stronger teams in Europe right now, Tighten. In the first game was utter domination. 28-minute game, which is about normal length right now, but 18-2 kills. The score really says it all. No real all-star players on the side of TriG, as much as it was them all being all-star players, all playing extremely on point and doing what they needed to get done. As far as the second game goes, we're looking at a bit more competition within this game, but really the ADC support lane of TriG coming out incredibly strong. Kanye Life going 0-6-8. Really rough over there. Confery 0-4-6. Comparatively to Funballer 8-1-5, and TriG on Ares 1-5-8, but that score doesn't really show as much as what's happening with Change crippling Ares Ultimate, giving protections, a lot of work coming out from TriG. Amid Lobster playing Anher, working on that double ADC, the magic damage coming out from Kivo, Fred, and TriG with the Ares Kabrakan combo. Not my favorite composition, but it did work out for them. Azalea playing Vamana again, just like he did in the first game, and doing pretty much exactly what he did in the first game. Good amount of kills, low deaths, and good assists. I mean, that's pretty much what Azalea does, right? Picking that Vamana, very safe character over there for him. Overall, really strong play by TriG in both games. If they would have been playing like this the whole split, they would have been in first place right now. But they seem to have found their stride for this season. Epsilon Esports vs Fanatic. This was a crazy set of games. I think this could have gone 2-0 either way, and it ended up splitting down the middle 1-1. The first game could have easily gone to Epsilon Esports. There was several misplays on the side of Epsilon. They ran Bologna ADC, which was very different, but they got a first blood like before the game even started. They took the purple buff away from Reels. Reels was like 2 levels behind Emilito on that Bologna, and it was really rough for them to come out of this, but somehow, I still don't know how, I watched the game and I don't know how, Reels came back, got ahead of Emilito by 2 levels, and then just tore up everything with a late game on her, which makes no sense because he was behind early games on her, and on her is not known for his late game potential. Blows my mind. Reels is just such a good player. It's stupid. Just stop being so good. The second game going the opposite way. The second game going back to Epsilon Esports. This time, Fnatic grabbing first blood and Epsilon Esports winning the game. This one really came down to Ninja Dimmy on the Loki. 8-1-4. Really strong play. Really smart play. Not that Mania played bad. He went 3-1-3, but he couldn't stop Ninja Dimmy from basically doing whatever he wanted. Nobody ever really got going on the team. Captain TriG going 0-6-9. Not super impressive compared to Adapting going 6-3-11 on a Willix game. Good game shield from Iraffer. Pretty decent Janus play from Yemen, and Emilito on the AMC wasn't a huge factor in this game. It was really more of Ninja Dimmy going around doing whatever he wanted. These teams are very close in skill level. I think they're also very close to Titan, which I think is very close to TriG. The top 4 in Europe, I think, are very right around each other right now and make for great hype games with any combination of those 4 playing each other. But overall, Fnatic going 1, Epsilon going 1 in that series. Last game of the week that we had was AFK Esports versus Eager. AFK Esports and Eager are scrim partners. This was a fairly hype game in North America to see where Eager would stand in terms of the top considered top teams in North America. They had previously lost 2-0 TSM, and this was another chance to face a top 3 team in North America, see how they did. The first game was incredibly close, one of the longer games of the season so far, 44 minutes and 30 seconds. Score coming out to 26-15. Fairly strong play overall from both teams. Both teams swapped leads several times during the game, but the main story of this came down to Cyclone Spin and Allied. Cyclone Spin going 9-1-11 with the Willix in the solo lane, and Allied going 10-3-10 on Shibalanke from the ADC role. Zap doing a very good job, picked up a key triple kill at one point to give a big swing back towards his team. Polar Bear Mike having his introduction to the professional smite scene, playing fairly well on Kumakarna, although Kumakarna not being a very strong character in this current meta, but still played it pretty well. The second game was the exact opposite of the first game. AFK took the second game as well, but instead of it being a 44-minute game, it was a 13-minute game. Cyclone finding early kills, got him fairly large fast. A really big fight at the first mid-harpy through the 3-minute mark where Thor ultied in, Janice ultied in. Janice got stunned by the Medusa ult at the mid-harpies. The Medusa rotated for the first mid-harpy rotation. Sylvanas ult, too many ults at once. Thor falls down, Janice gets picked off in the back, leading to a fairly large XP and gold differential already in the first 3 minutes of the game, which just ended up spiraling out of control for the rest of the game. Now, one more match I want to talk about that there was not a post about that I could find is C9 versus TSM. That was probably the best game this week in terms of like hype. Like, oh my god, these are 2 of the best teams in the world going against each other. It ended up going 2-0 to Cloud9 is who took that one. Most people thought that was going to go in favor of TSM, but Cloud9 playing extremely strongly. TSM having leads at several points of games. Could not find a way to put it away. One particular moment when they had about a 5,000-6,000 gold lead over by the Fire Giant side, tier 2 tower, they were pushing. They couldn't find an initiation aspect. Omega on Hercules used his pull to bait several beads out on the enemy team of TSM. After that, they used that ability to engage on them while their beads were down. A very large Kraken landed by MLC, a 3-man Kraken, really turning that around. Led to them wiping the team, getting the Fire Giant, turning that game around and winning the game. Other than that moment, that game should have gone to TSM and it would have been 1-1, but Cloud9 did take that series 2-0, and they are currently the only undefeated team in the world right now. 8-0 is their score. There is no undefeated team in Europe. Alright guys, thanks for watching the recap. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a twitching day, y'all.